Well, hey friends, Joshua doing the Dean team. Hey, want to talk real quick and provide some clarity around what has transpired today. We've gotten some calls, some emails, and all those things. So grateful to be trusted advisors. So we feel responsible, the fiduciary responsibility to step in and provide some clarity. So let's talk real quick about understanding the Fed rate versus the bond market and who controls what. So when you woke up today, the Fed rate was at 8.5%. After the Fed meeting today, it's at 8%. So how does this impact your buying power? What does this do for you as a buyer to buy a home or even to refinance? So the Fed rate, which is also known as the Fed funds rate, is the interest rate in which banks lend to each other overnight. Okay. So typically when this is cut, this directly impacts, this is important for you to know, short-term interest rates. So what are things that are controlled by short-term interest rates? Credit cards, auto loans, home equity lines of credit. That's where the impact on this is, right? So typically when this happens, by the way, this has happened to stimulate spending or, borrowing. Now, here's the little concern about this, right? Inflation has been challenging for us. We've seen those numbers come down. That's good. However, dropping this much, depending on who you listen to, some thought it was going to be a quarter, some thought it was a half. Nonetheless, it's somewhat aggressive. So we'll have to see how the market takes shape in light of this. So even though the Fed has lowered net rates, mortgage rates are tied to long-term interest rates, right? So remember, Fed rate short, mortgage rates long-term, and they're tied to the bond market. So in fact, sometimes when the Fed cuts the Fed rate, you can see mortgage rates rise because the market starts to anticipate inflation or different economic factors. And so today actually is true of that. The market's been negative all day long. It was at negative 15. As I'm doing this video, it's sitting at negative 11. So with some of that uncertainty, the bond market reacts. So the bond market, though, moves based on broader, larger factors like inflation expectations. That's why when we're waiting for the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, that's why you've seen rates. You've heard mortgage professionals talk about, hey, the CPI, the inflation numbers are this. It moves on global events, investor sentiment. So there's different things that impact the bond market. So here's the bottom line, friends. The Fed rate cut from 8.5% to 8% is good, but it's not directly tied or impacts mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are going to continue to be driven by the bond market, which is influenced by a variety of economic conditions and different things of that nature. So what does this mean for you if you're looking to buy? Really nothing in a sense. Some of the reprieve we've gotten in the bond market was because they anticipated inflation, they anticipated some of this happening, so therefore it's allowed, along with some other economic factors, for rates to drop the lowest they've been since last February. So what does this mean for you, buyer? If you're looking to buy, having a strategy, getting an analysis, getting somebody to walk through different things of that is what's vitally important. If you're looking to refinance, where does your rate need to be? Cash out, refinance, all those things. We would be honored to help you. We want to continue to provide clarity in an ever-changing, fluctuating mortgage and housing market in an election year, all the things we have. We'd be honored to help you any way we can. Thanks for checking us out. Have an awesome day. We'll see you.